This is not just a superhero movie. It looks like action and powers on the surface, but the real story goes much deeper than that. In this world, there are people called mutants. They are born different. Their bodies have changes in their DNA that give them special abilities. Some can heal fast. Some can move things with their mind. Some can control energy or change shape. But even with these abilities, they are still human inside. The problem is not what they are. The problem is how normal people see them. Most humans do not accept mutants. They fear them. They see them as something dangerous, something that should be controlled or removed. Instead of trying to understand them, people choose fear. This story shows something very simple about human behavior. When people see something they do not understand, they often react with fear first. That fear can grow. It can turn into anger. It can even turn into control and violence. Fear becomes the main force that drives everything in the story. It affects governments, scientists, and even the mutants themselves. Everyone starts making choices based on fear, not understanding. As the story moves forward, it becomes clear that this is not only about heroes and villains. It is about how far people will go when they are scared of change. In the end, this story is not about superpowers. It is about control, fear, and change, and how all three shape the world we live in. In this story, the world is changed by the presence of mutants. Mutants are people who are born with small changes in their genes. These changes give them special powers. Some can heal quickly, some can control minds, some can create energy or move objects without touching them. They did not choose to be this way. They are simply born different. Even though they are human, society does not treat them as equals. Most people do not understand them. Because of this lack of understanding, fear begins to grow. Mutants are seen as dangerous. They are blamed for problems they did not cause. Many people believe mutants should be controlled or removed. As fear grows, the government steps in. They begin to monitor mutants and study them. Instead of helping them live in peace, the focus shifts toward control and safety. Mutants are watched closely and treated as a possible threat to society. In the middle of this conflict, three major views appear. William Stryker believes mutants are a danger to humanity. He thinks the only solution is to remove them completely. He uses science and force to capture and control mutants. His goal is simple. No mutants should exist in the world. Professor Charles Xavier has a very different idea. He believes mutants and humans can live together in peace. He wants understanding instead of fear. He teaches mutants to control their powers and use them safely. His goal is balance and peace between both sides. Magneto sees the situation in another way. He believes humans will never accept mutants. Because of this, he thinks mutants must take control instead. In his view, mutants should rule instead of being controlled. These three beliefs create the main conflict of the story. Each one comes from a different reaction to fear and power. The world becomes divided between control, peace, and dominance. At its core, this is a story about difference. It shows how people react when they face something they cannot fully understand. Fear of mutants in society. In this story, fear plays a very big role in how society behaves toward mutants. Mutants are people who are born with changes in their genes. These changes give them powers that normal humans do not have. But instead of being accepted, they are often seen as a problem. Most humans do not try to understand mutants. When people see something different, they often feel unsure or unsafe. That feeling quickly turns into fear. In this world, that fear spreads fast. One person becomes afraid, then many others follow. Soon, fear becomes the normal way of thinking. Because of this fear, mutants are treated as dangerous. They are not seen as normal people. They are labeled as threats to society. Even when they are not doing anything wrong, people assume they could be harmful. This thinking creates distance between humans and mutants. As fear grows, it also leads to stronger actions. Governments begin to step in. They create systems to watch mutants. They try to track where they are and what they can do. Some mutants are captured and held for testing or control. These systems are not built out of understanding. They are built out of fear and protection. In many cases, mutants are not given a chance to explain themselves. Their identity is reduced to their powers. This causes more misunderstanding. The more they are feared, the less they are accepted. The less they are accepted, the more they are controlled. Fear also affects how people treat each other in everyday life. It changes behavior. People start to believe that mutants are always dangerous, even without proof. This shows how powerful fear can be. It does not need facts to grow. It only needs emotion and uncertainty. This is a clear example of fear of difference. When something or someone is not familiar, people often assume the worst. Instead of asking questions, they react with control or aggression. The mutants in this story are not shown as monsters. They are shown as confused, scared, and trying to live their lives. But society does not always see that side. They only see the difference. In the end, fear changes everything. It changes how people think, how they act, and how they treat others. It becomes the force that drives conflict, control, and division in the world of mutants. Main conflict: control versus evolution. In this story, the main conflict comes from three very different ideas about mutants and the future of humans. Each idea comes from fear, hope, and power. None of them is fully right or fully wrong, but all of them clash in a way that creates tension across the world. The first view is from William Stryker. He believes mutants are a danger to human life. In his eyes, mutants should not exist at all. He wants to stop them completely. To do this, he uses force, science, and control. He builds systems to track mutants and capture them. His goal is simple in his mind: remove the threat before it grows stronger. He believes this is the only way to protect humanity. The second view is from Professor Charles Xavier. He believes mutants are not a threat. He sees them as people who need guidance. He thinks humans and mutants can live together in peace. Instead of fighting or removing mutants, he teaches them to control their powers. He believes understanding is better than fear. His goal is balance. He wants both groups to learn how to live side by side without harm. The third view is from Magneto. His view comes from pain and experience. He believes humans will never accept mutants no matter what they do. Because of this, he thinks mutants should not try to fit in. Instead, they should take control. In his mind, mutants are the next stage of human evolution, and they should be in charge. He sees power as the only way to survive in a world that fears them. All three characters believe they are doing the right thing. None of them sees themselves as villains. Each one is trying to solve the same problem in a different way. But their methods are completely different, and this creates a strong conflict between them. At the center of this struggle is a bigger question: who should control the future? Is it humans who fear change? Is it mutants who represent that change? Or is it a balance between both sides? This is not only a fight about people, it is also a fight about evolution itself. Mutants represent a change in human life. Some want to stop that change, some want to guide it, and some want to take control of it completely. As the conflict grows, the world becomes more divided. Trust breaks down, fear increases, and choices become more extreme. There is less space for the middle ground. In the end, the story does not give an easy answer. It only raises a hard question. If evolution is always moving forward, then who should decide what comes next? Weapon X and genetic testing. In this part of the story, we learn about Wolverine's past and the painful truth behind it. His real name is not the focus here. What matters is what was done to him. He was not born as a weapon. He was turned into one. Wolverine was captured by people who wanted to study and control him. He did not choose to be part of their work. He was taken against his will. In the lab, scientists began to change his body. They used metal and chemicals to make him stronger. His bones were covered with a strong metal called Adamantium. This made him nearly unbreakable. But the process was painful and forced. He did not agree to any of it. He had no real choice. His life was taken away step by step. He was treated like an object, not a person. The people doing the experiments did not see him as human. They saw him as something to use. This is where science becomes something dangerous. Science is not bad on its own. But in this story, it is used in a harmful way. Instead of helping people, it is used to control them. Wolverine becomes an example of what happens when science is used as a weapon. He is not the only one. Other mutants are also treated like tools. Their bodies and abilities are studied, tested, and used for experiments. They are not asked if they agree. They are simply taken and used for what they can do. This causes deep damage to Wolverine's mind and identity. He loses memory of who he was before. He does not fully remember his past life. This creates confusion and pain. He struggles to understand who he really is. Is he a man? Or is he just a weapon made by others? The emotional pain is just as strong as the physical pain. Being changed without choice takes away his sense of self. He becomes someone who is always fighting between his human side and his animal instincts. This part of the story sends a simple but strong message. Science can help the world, but it can also be misused. When people use science without care or limits, it can hurt others instead of helping them. Wolverine's story shows what happens when power has no control. People with too much power over science and other lives can make dangerous choices. They can forget about ethics, meaning what is right or wrong. In the end, this part of the story shows a clear idea. When power is used without limits or responsibility, it can create harm instead of progress. Cerebro and tracking power. In this part of the story, we are shown a powerful machine called Cerebro. It is a system created by Professor Xavier to help find mutants anywhere in the world. At first, it looks like a helpful tool. It can locate people with mutant abilities even if they are far away or hidden. Cerebro works by scanning minds and genetic signals. It allows Xavier to see where mutants are and how strong they are. This gives a huge amount of information in a very short time. In the right hands, it can help protect mutants and guide them. But in the wrong hands, it can become something very dangerous. The main issue is control. When someone has access to this kind of knowledge, they also gain power over others. Knowing where every mutant is means they can be watched at all times. It removes the idea of privacy. People are no longer hidden or free in the same way. This is where technology becomes a tool for power. It is not just about helping people anymore. It becomes about control. If a system can see everything, then it can also be used to control everything. This changes the balance between safety and freedom. The danger in Cerebro is not the machine itself. The danger is how much it can reveal. When you know too much about others, it becomes easy to decide what should happen to them. This creates a risk of unfair control and judgment. In the story, this idea is very important. Mutants are already being feared by society. Now, with systems like Cerebro, they can be found and tracked anywhere. This removes their ability to live freely without being watched. It also shows a larger idea about technology in general. When knowledge grows, control often grows with it. The more information people have, the more power they can hold over others. This can be helpful, but it can also be dangerous if it is not handled carefully. Cerebro represents this balance between understanding and control. It can help bring peace by finding mutants who need help, but it can also be used as a way to monitor and control an entire group of people. In the end, this part of the story shows a simple idea. When knowledge becomes too powerful, it can reduce freedom if it is used without care. Emotional side of mutants. In this part of the story, we see the emotional side of mutants. They are not just people with powers. They are also people with feelings, fears, and dreams, just like anyone else. The story shows that behind every power, there is a human heart trying to understand itself. Many mutants feel alone. They are often rejected by society and treated as something dangerous. Because of this, they do not feel safe in the world around them. They hide, run away, or try to control their lives in any way they can. Fear follows them everywhere, and this makes their lives very hard. What they want most is simple. They want acceptance. They want to live without being judged. They want safety, just like everyone else. But because of their differences, they are often denied this basic need. This creates deep emotional pain for many of them. Wolverine is one example of this struggle. He does not fully know who he is. His memory is broken, and his past is unclear. He is always fighting between anger and confusion. He tries to understand his identity, but it is difficult because of what was done to him. He is strong on the outside, but inside, he is lost. Rogue is another example. Her power makes it dangerous for her to touch other people. If she touches someone, she can hurt them without meaning to. Because of this, she is afraid of her own ability. She feels lonely because she cannot connect with others normally. This makes her feel isolated even when she is around people. Professor Xavier also carries emotional weight. He is responsible for many mutants who look to him for guidance. He tries to protect them and give them a place where they can be safe. But this responsibility is heavy. He knows that every decision affects many lives. All of these characters show that mutants are not monsters. They are people trying to survive in a world that does not always understand them. Their struggles are emotional, not just physical. In the end, this part of the story reminds us that difference does not remove humanity. It only changes how people experience the world. Linked to past real events. In this part of the story, we can connect what happens in the movie to real history. The story of mutants is not only fiction. It reflects how humans have acted in the past when they faced people who were different. Throughout history, humans have often feared those who were not like them. When people do not understand others, they sometimes react with fear instead of curiosity. This fear has led to unfair treatment in many situations. Groups of people have been separated, judged, and controlled just because they were seen as different. Science has also been used in harmful ways before. Instead of always helping people, it has sometimes been used to test or control them. In some cases, people were part of experiments without real choice or protection. These actions were justified at the time by saying it was for progress or safety, but they caused pain and damage. This connects strongly to the story of mutants. In the movie, mutants are also tested, studied, and controlled. They are treated as subjects instead of human beings. This shows how fear can change the way science and power are used. History also shows that fear can lead to injustice. When fear becomes stronger than understanding, people can make decisions that hurt others. These decisions are often based on emotion, not truth. Over time, this creates systems that are unfair and difficult to change. The important idea here is that history often repeats itself in similar ways. Even if the names and situations change, the patterns stay the same. Fear of difference, misuse of power, and lack of understanding appear again and again. The story of mutants reflects this pattern. It shows what can happen when fear controls actions instead of knowledge and empathy. It reminds us that without learning from the past, similar mistakes can happen again in new forms. Connection to present day. In today's world, science is moving very fast. Many ideas that once looked like fiction are now becoming real in small steps. The story of mutants connects in a simple way to what is happening in modern life. One of the biggest changes is in genetics. Scientists now study DNA in detail. They can understand how traits are passed from parents to children. In some cases, they can even make small changes to genes. This means that human biology is no longer fully fixed. It can slowly be studied and changed. This idea is very close to what we see in the movie, where mutations shape abilities. At the same time, artificial intelligence is growing. AI systems can collect and analyze huge amounts of data. They can track patterns in behavior, health, and movement. This creates powerful systems that can understand people in ways that were not possible before. While this can help in medicine and safety, it also raises concerns about control and privacy. Data tracking is also becoming a normal part of life. Phones, apps, and online systems collect information about users. Many people are not fully aware of how much data is being stored. This creates a world where actions can be observed and recorded more than ever before. In a way, it reduces the feeling of privacy. Another important point is that humans are slowly learning how to change parts of biology. Medical science can now treat genetic diseases in ways that were not possible in the past. While this is helpful, it also opens questions about how far this should go. If science continues to grow, it may one day allow deeper changes to human life itself. Because of all these changes, the line between fiction and reality is becoming thinner. Some ideas shown in the movie no longer feel impossible. They feel like early versions of real scientific progress. The main message is simple. This is not just a story from imagination anymore. Some parts of it are starting to reflect the direction of real science and technology. This makes the movie more than just entertainment. It becomes a way to think about where we are going as a society. Future possibility. In this part of the idea, we think about what could happen in the future. The story of Mutants helps us imagine a world that may not be far away from real life. It asks simple questions about where humans are going and what choices they may face next. One possible future is that humans may learn to change their own genes in deeper ways. Science is already moving in that direction. Small changes are possible today, and in time, bigger changes may become possible too. This could help remove diseases or improve health, but it also raises difficult questions about how far it should go. Technology may also play a bigger role in daily life decisions. Systems may guide choices in health, work, and even behavior. As machines become smarter, they may influence how people live their lives. This can make life easier, but it can also make people depend more on systems they do not fully understand. Because of this, important questions appear about freedom and identity. If humans begin to change their own biology or follow machine decisions, what does it mean to be human? Are people still fully free if so much is shaped by science and technology? These are not easy questions, and there are no simple answers. Another important idea is control. Who will control science in the future? Will it be governments, private companies, or shared systems? If powerful tools are not guided carefully, they could be used in unfair ways. This is why responsibility becomes very important as science grows. At the same time, progress is not only a danger. It also brings many benefits. It can improve health, solve problems, and make life better for many people. This shows that progress has two sides. It can help, and it can also harm depending on how it is used. The future is not fixed yet. It is still being shaped by choices made today. The direction of science and society depends on how carefully people think about power, control, and responsibility. In the end, the future remains open. What happens next will depend on how humans choose to use the knowledge they are gaining now. In the end, the story comes back to one simple idea. This is not only a story about mutants with powers, it is a story about how humans react when they face something different. Fear is the first thing that drives everything. When people are afraid, they stop trying to understand. That fear slowly turns into control. They try to manage, limit, or remove what they do not accept. In this way, fear grows into control. But control does not bring peace. It creates conflict. Different groups begin to fight over what is right. Some want safety through control. Some want peace through understanding. Others want power to survive. This struggle shapes the whole world of the story. Mutants in this story are not just characters with abilities. They represent differences in society. They show what happens when someone is seen as not normal. Through them, we see how people can be treated when they are not understood. The simple message is that this story reflects human behavior. It is not only about fiction or imagination, it is about how real people think, fear, and act when faced with change. In the end, the story leaves us with one final idea. This was never just about mutants. It was about us.